Okay, the next question says, suggest the two reasons why the rate of infiltration varies between three sites. Infiltration happens in the soil, so maybe there are differences in the soil. So let's write the soil composition. If we were to elaborate this thing, we would say like some areas didn't compact soil, thick soil. Some areas didn't loose soil, so more infiltration in loose soil. Number two, vegetation cover. The first question was concerned the first part of this first question was concerned vegetation cover. You should know what the denser roots when you have a root structure denser roots dense in one space here, they are going to open up the soil more. Denser roots allow more infiltration. So all in all, suggest two reasons why the rate of infiltration varies. Soil composition, some soil is compact, some is loose. Vegetation cover, some areas in denser roots which increase filtration. Okay, D. When the students returned to school, they judged their fieldwork methods. Table 1.4 shows 3 weaknesses in methodology. For each weakness, suggest a different way to improve method. The fieldwork sites were chosen at random. So we need to improve upon this. There was a random site selection. In other words, there was a random site selection. How can we improve the overall reaction here? There was a random site selection. Well, we could use something called stratified. So we could use stratified sampling. Stratified sampling. Basically, stratified sampling, a complicated way of saying every type of area is represented fairly. Every area here needs to be represented fairly. Every area is represented fairly. So ariakanyana in pictures. So you're going to have an area. You're going to divide your areas into 3 areas here. So in terms of the volcano, our volcano here. So this is what we could do. Our volcano divided into lower slope, middle slope, the upper slope. Basically we could going into the whole thing, going into this thing, this would be our plan for stratified sampling. We are going to ensure that every area is represented fairly. How? We are going to, after dividing this thing roughly into lower, middle and upper slope, we are covering the whole thing. We are going to take the same number of sample size. Say let's sample 3 let's add 3 here, such that each thing is represented equally fairly. So it's you ensuring that every area is accounted for here and taking the same number of sample sites on maybe throwing out your quadrate here at the same number of time in each area. So you have subgroups. There is one which take a stratified sampling. This thing is a strata. It's a subgroup. Yeah, one under the whole area you divide it into subgroups. Yeah, called the strata. Yeah. And so we random site selection. Let's see what we are going for this question. Estimates of vegetation cover were subjective. The estimates, when we are actually carrying out the investigations, the estimates were subjective. The word subjective, what does the word subjective mean? It means it was based on personal opinion, personal judgment, the personal opinion. So when we are throwing out the quadrate here, students relied on their personal notions, personal opinions to determine whether this thing is bare soil, this thing is, so maybe there were no standards that everyone could agree upon, so they base the whole thing off of their experiences, their individual opinions, which is problematic in investigations. You need your investigations to be reproducible, you need them to be objective, not personal and not subjective. So what are we going to do? Well, you could have multiple students, estimate, sure, you could have multiple students estimate and average the results, and you can average results. So even though you can get away from the subjective personal opinions, because we are people, you could increase the number of students who are making the estimate, and then you can take an average from there to ensure what they cancel each other out, they average each other out. Okay. The measurement of infiltration was unreliable. Now this one heavily relied on the instrument ZINZIL. So the safe thing here, as with any like technical investigation experiment, you should just repeat it. So repeat measurement, say hangwe 3 times for average. It leaned heavily on the tools, so in order to improve accuracy and precision, for us to get closer to the true value, you have to repeat the measurements, say 3 times and average, and get the averages.